I talk in Liberty and Tyranny and even more in Men in Black about how when I was a teenager, I would go to Independence Hall in Center City, Philadelphia, because to me that is the heart, the birth of American liberty right there. Independence Hall was the capital of Pennsylvania for a period of time. That is where the state legislature met. And in the assembly room, the Declaration of Independence was debated and finalized and passed. All that history, the Declaration, the Constitution, the debates, all these magnificent, great men who believed as you and I do today. This is what I was doing when I was 12, 13, 14, 15 years old. This is my spirit. This is what I'm instilled with. So why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this so you know and you have faith that when I get behind this microphone and I talk about liberty and I talk about American history and when I talk about the Declaration and the Constitution, when I talk about these things, that I am talking not just from my mind but from my heart and soul. This is not a game to me. This is not a ratings act for me. This is not new for me. A free nation is always threatened by tyranny. The Founding Fathers understood that. And tyranny comes in different forms. And I remember I used to say to my buddy Eric, I used to say, you know what, Eric, I was born too late. Do you know what I would have done to be in that assembly hall, to be part of the birth of this nation and the establishment of the Constitution? And I try to express all this in Liberty and Tyranny, and I try to do it every day behind this microphone. And I hope I live up to it, ladies and gentlemen. God knows I try. Now, there's been a lot of talk over the last month about a guy named Van Jones. We all know who Van Jones is in the talk radio world. Do you want to know why? Because we get endless emails telling us about Van Jones. We get links to audio about Van Jones. Van Jones is a Marxist who never shut the hell up. So people are dusting off the old audio, putting it on the internet, putting it on YouTube, sending it to me and everybody else. And, of course, it's being played on cable. And we're going to play one piece of Van Jones. It's almost 2 minutes. And then I'm going to explain something. I'm going to explain something that's not about Van Jones after you listen to Van Jones. This is one of the radicals. This is the green czar that Obama hired, among many. So listen very carefully, and then I hope you'll listen carefully to my comment on it, because it'll be a little different. Cut 5, go.
Right after Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat, if the civil rights leaders had jumped out and said, okay, now we want reparations for slavery, we want redistribution of all wealth, and we want to legalize mixed marriages. If that had been they had come out with a maximum program the very next day, they'd have been laughed at. Instead, they came out with a very minimum program. We just want to integrate these buses. The students, a few years later, came out with a very minimum program. We just want to sit at the lunch counter. But inside that minimum demand was a very radical kernel that eventually meant that from 1954 to 1968, complete revolution was on the table for this country. And I think that this green movement has to pursue those same steps and stages. Right now we're saying we want to move from suicidal gray capitalism to some kind of eco-capitalism where, at least we're not, fast-tracking the destruction of the whole planet. Will that be enough? No, it won't be enough. We want to go beyond systems of exploitation and oppression altogether. But that's a process. And I think what's great about the movement that's beginning to emerge is that the crisis is so severe in terms of joblessness, violence, and now ecological threats that people are willing to be both very pragmatic and very visionary. And so the green economy will start off as a small subset, and we're going to push it and push it and push it until it becomes the engine for transforming the whole society.
Now, I don't know why people are stunned by this. We've been talking about this now several years on this program. I've explained what statism is, what the statists want, and we've elected one as president. And he's appointing like-minded people to his government. That is the point. We play into the hands of our opponents. when we deflect so much attention away from Barack Obama himself and go on and on and on chasing these miscreants in the weeds. Ladies and gentlemen, as I said yesterday, there are not only hundreds of these radical statists in the Obama administration, there are thousands of them. Thousands of them. And of course, it's worthwhile to point them out, but it is not worthwhile to spend a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks obsessing over one. Because the only reason Van Jones is there is because Barack Obama knows Van Jones, likes Van Jones, agrees with Van Jones, and put him there. Just like he did Greg Craig, who used to represent Fidel Castro, Raul Castro, and Communist Cuba against Elian Gonzalez in this country. And Greg Craig is now the White House counsel, just as Carol Browner, who my group, Landmark Legal Foundation, exposed in federal litigation in court and in depositions. She is an avowed socialist, and she sits there as a czar in charge of energy and whatever else the hell she's in charge of. None of these people would hold positions of power anywhere in our federal government but for Barack Obama.